I thought that, when I first got here, there was a lot of unknowns, and, just the conversations we had through the spring practices over the summertime and into fall camp. I really thought these kids really flipped the switch roughly about practice 10 that we talked about. And I was really proud of how they just bought into what we're trying to accomplish. I think this was a really good game for them to kind of get some confidence going into next week. But we still got a lot, we left a lot out there, with the 2 turnovers, a few false starts that were pretty critical at times, a couple of drop balls, some misexecution on some things. So there's a lot of improvement in the future for us, but it felt good to get out there and watch some of those guys make a lot of plays, because it's a testament to them and the coaching staff for all the hard work that they put in.
As a camp observer, it was obvious there was the ingredients there to have an explosive offense, but there's a solid defense out there competing against them too, so it's a lot of back and forth. Is it kind of a relief to see that production take place in the first game?
No, that's a big deal, is just the way Coach Sermon played on defense. Like we had a lot of short fields. We were kind of struggling for some things at times, got hit on some negative plays, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, which you're probably going to hear that a lot over the next week. But just to have a defense like Coach Thurman and just to give us the opportunities to take advantage of when I thought we had some pretty good complementary football at times. We capitalized off of their turnovers. I think they had 3 turnovers. I believe we scored on all 3 of them. But that being said, we also had the fumble that put them in a bad spot that they scored on. So, it's always good to have a great defense. It is, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back to Cal, is that I knew that they're going to play solid defense.
So Sam got off to a good start before he got hurt, and then Ben came in and put up some really good numbers too. Obviously, he has some starting experience at North Carolina State, but he didn't have a lot of time to get acclimated here, just coming in the fall. Are you happy with the performance, what you saw out there today?
Yeah, I am. I think Ben is pretty funny, because he's just got this gunslinger mentality. I don't think he would care if there was, 5 people in the stands or 5 million people in the stands. He was going to go out there and sling the ball around and do what he's always done. He's very confident in what he's in his ability, and having that experience was one of the reasons why we threw him in the game. Sam, I thought was playing well. There's a couple busted assignments that we had to overcome, and the self-inflicted wounds, and he was starting to move the ball, but to be put in that situation on a 3rd down and put Ben in the game and just to execute that, really proud of how he handled it. I think he's still going to keep getting better on a day-by-day basis, just because he's only been here since June. So, he's a kid that took the news of Sam starting as really a challenge to improve. I thought he practiced extremely well. That's also looking at how the backup quarterbacks are going to handle the news of another person starting, and he handled it well and practiced well, and I had full confidence of him going in the game.
Okay, we'll go over to Zoom. Ryan, did you have a question? Was it for Coach Wilcox or Coach Spav?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan, from Daily Cal.
Coach, you mentioned that you left some points on the table today. What's your message, given all the success in the offense? What's your message to the offense for next week?
Yeah, a lot of our conversations, we had a few scrimmages in fall camp that ended up that way, where a lot of our issues right now are self-inflicted. When we stall out offensively, it's majority our fault, us putting ourselves in those scenarios. But these guys, there's a standard and expectation that we have in that offensive room that it's not about who we're playing. It's not about, anything that other people do to us. It's just, how do we handle the adversity? How do we overcome it? How do we make sure that we're minimizing negative plays, playing efficient football? And just listening to the dialogue of those guys on the sideline, they know that we left a lot out there, and we're not playing to the standard and expectation that we preach about all the time. And they know that we got a lot of work. They're happy and excited for the success they had, but they know that we still got to get back to work and get a lot better.
Okay, we'll go ahead and go to Jeff Ferrado. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Jake, throughout the fall camp, you were telling us you couldn't wait until September 2nd to get to see what Jay Nutt looks like when you take the shackles off a little bit. And 41 yards on his first touch today. What did you think of how Jay Nutt played?
Yeah, for all the times he was upset with me on not letting him go live in those scrimmages, I think that play kind of summarized it all up. He was always extremely mad at me for limiting him, and but there's a reason why. He's an elite running back, and we got to keep him healthy. And I felt like he had like 180 yards or so, like, which is that's a pretty impressive stat alone right there when you're talking about that. So we go as that rushing game goes, and especially in a situation where you lose the starting quarterback and you throw in another guy in a different scenario, just to have that reliability of a strong run game, and Jay Knott really puts the pressure off that quarterback, and just was fired up to actually see him go live for the first time. And man, he's what they always talk about. He's the real deal, and I'm excited about what he's going to build off of moving forward.
Okay, let's go ahead and keep going with the single question, and then we'll check for follow-ups after that. Steve Croner from the Chronicle.
Yeah, Jay, congratulations. Did your game plan change much at all, a little, once you had to go with Ben instead of Sam?
No, just the beauty of game one. I had like 4 game plans available, like just one for Fernando, one for Ben, one for Sam, one for just the rushing attack on what we needed to get to. So we got some good evaluations. The thing that how we practice, we do a lot of live scenarios, a lot of play the game. So I know what these guys are capable of doing and what's their comfort. That's I think a very big key to calling plays is what are these guys comfortable running. And Ben's a gunslinger type of guy. He's a bigger body, so I knew that I can get to a little bit more quick game and kind of over the middle throws. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do with Sam. So we were ready for all quarterbacks being able to play. And who would have thought that I would have played 3 of them in this game? But I thought it was awesome that they all had their opportunity to go, and I think they're all going to be looking forward to see what it tells next week.
Okay, we'll go back to Jeff, and we do want to be efficient here. We've got a few players to get through as well. So go ahead, Jeff.
Jake, we don't know, I guess, the status of Sam for next week, but how confident would you be in Ben if he started against, obviously, what's going to be a better opponent in Auburn?
Yeah, I thought Sam handled this scenario really well. I thought he, just the leadership side of him, I'm always keeping an eye on these QBs, and the way Sam approached this week and how he had the walkthroughs leading up to the game, and, Sam's ready to play at a high level, and I would like, depending on what the doctors say, I want to keep playing that kid. I think he's very dynamic in what he does, and I think Ben's really good too, and I think Fernando has his, strong suits as well. But, looking at like the outcome of this game, I feel comfortable with playing any of them, and this game just does not define, really Sam, Ben, or Fernando. We got to keep continuously getting better, and all 3 of them, we had a good meeting after the game, and, they're all ready to get back into rehab, get ready to go, and let's go through everything we got at Auburn next week.
Okay, Jim, go ahead, Jim.
We asked Coach about Isaiah Fonze, but Ashton Stradek and Javian Thomas got some good opportunities late in the game too. What were your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I thought there's still going to be a lot to critique off the tape, especially with Isaiah as well. But for the most part, we're looking for that guy to take the load off of Jay Knott when he can't go 9,000 plays like I felt like he went today. So we got a lot of good evaluations, and just to get Jet in at the end, Javen, I thought he was running. He wasn't scared. I thought he had an opportunity to hit a big play. I thought he was going to get a house call on one of those. On a great cutback play back into the boundary, but just to see how those guys were ready for their opportunity to go out there. Extremely proud of Isaiah just to be thrown in that scenario, have 3 rushing touchdowns, and that goes back to the experience that he has, and played a lot of football. But having Ashton Stradek out there, who I think is a dynamic player, and being in his home state of Texas, I thought it was great for him to get some touches, and then get a rookie like Javen to get a couple touches as well. So. Really proud of all 3 of them, but we still got a lot of room for improvement. But it's good to have a lot of evals right now.
Okay, any final questions for Jake? Okay, thank you.